Ultralight backpackers will tell you that camp shoes is a luxury that you don't need. But after hiking on the trail for a long day, slipping out of your hiking shoes, that can feel like one of the most important pieces of gear that you brought on the whole trip. So the real question isn't whether or not you should bring shoes. It's which camp shoes actually make sense when weight matters. Today I'm going to break down 6 different camp shoe setups, from the heaviest, most normal options, all the way down to a pair that's so absurdly light that it feels like cheating. We're going to be talking about real trade-offs: weight, comfort, packability, durability, and whether or not they actually earn the place in an ultralight or a fast packing setup. I'm not here to tell you what you have to carry. I'm just here to help you decide what's worth it for you. So as I've told you guys many times, I've been hiking and backpacking for over 30 years. And so when I first started hiking, hiking boots were a must when you were out on the trail. Making sure to take care of your ankles, take care of your feet, and all of those good things. And for a lot of people, that's still what they use. And so when you're talking about camp shoes, the next thing that's lighter than, say, a hiking boot would be tennis shoes. So the first thing on our list is a pair of tennis shoes. And so I just have a pair of my Hokas that I have here that I use out and trail run with. So for me, nowadays, I actually backpack and trail run in trail shoes most of the time. And so I'm not actually hiking in the heavier hiking boots as much. But for somebody who does hike in hiking boots, being able to get those off at the end of the day and be able to get in something a little bit more comfortable, like say a pair of trail shoes, could be a big change in what they do. And so these Hokas come in at around 22 ounces in weight. And so that's just a little over a pound, which you wouldn't think is too much whenever you're going out. But when you really start packing in your backpack, as you've seen in a lot of my videos, you start adding in those pounds and those ounces, and they add up fast. And so carrying something as heavy as a pair of shoes that's 22 ounces could add up to your pack pretty quick and get you starting to get into something like 45 pounds or better. And then for me, when I'm actually out hiking and backpacking or even trail running in these, I typically even want to come out of these and I want my feet to even have more breathability in camp. And so now let me show you some of the other options that I have. So one of the first things that I started carrying when I ditched taking tennis shoes was I just really wanted to be able to have something where it was just going to be comfortable. I could get my feet out, let them breathe a bit, or even too, if I was needed to cross a river or a stream or something, that I could get out of, say, my hiking boots or my tennis shoes so that I wouldn't get them soaked, and actually get into something that I wouldn't mind if it got wet. And so I started carrying a pair of basic slides. And so these here are just a basic pair. I didn't try to get any major ultralights. These are actually 20 ounces. So they're really not much lighter than a pair of tennis shoes, but they're a lot more comfortable, and they're definitely very comfortable to have out around camp. But I will tell you that when it came to actually utilizing these, I really didn't like them when it came to things like water crossings, because there's really nothing to hold your feet in the shoe. And once your feet get wet, especially if you've come out of your socks, then you're sliding all over the place. And potentially, that's not good when you've got weight on your backpack, because you could easily, just a little bit of getting off balance could easily put you, toss you into the creek, which is not good, because then everything's getting wet. And so even though these were really nice, and I think they're really super comfortable for a camp, they're not so great when it comes to doing things like river crossing, and they're still pretty heavy. And I'm actually gonna put them back on because it's what I'm wearing around the house today. All right, next I've got a pair of, you could get Crocs. These are an off-brand of Crocs. I believe you pronounce this Emoji is the brand. I don't even remember. I think I got these on Amazon. I've had these for so long, I don't even remember how long I've had them. But they're actually a little lighter than the slides because, and they've got the ability to shed water. You can see here they've got holes in it and stuff, so for when you're river crossing, you can shed water out really easily for that. And they also help a lot when you're crossing on the river because they actually have this little hill strap. So now you've actually got something that will actually lock you in to the shoe so that it's not going to go anywhere when you're walking out across the creek or the river. for that. And so for that, I liked these when it came to being able to have them out to be able to cross in the river. And they're also, just like the slides, they're pretty comfortable. I wouldn't say they're as comfortable as the slides because they're covering a little bit more of your foot, but they're still really nice camp shoe. And these weight-wise come in at 16.4 ounces. And so they're a good bit decently lighter than your tennis shoes or even those slides that I was just showing you. So this made for, I carried these for quite a while before, and these would make the trip a lot because it would just be a little bit lighter, and you're talking about right at about a pound for those. All right, next, then I really started, a year or two ago, started really trying to research and find some more, lightweight options that I could find to where I could, it's kind of the thing that I've told you guys a lot of times when we're talking about ultralight. As I got older, I was always looking for different reasons to be, where can I drop a little bit of ounces and stuff on different gear, or just even comfort and some of that. And so I then found these Tevas. And so the Tevas are super comfortable, and you talk about, sturdiness for river crossing, like you really now can strap yourself into your shoe. And so these became even more stable than, say, the off-brand Crocs there, the emojis that I had, because they're really gonna lock you in, and I really felt a lot more safe when I was river crossing while I was utilizing these. But they really didn't end up saving me that much weight because they're also 16 ounces. So very comparable in the sense of the Crocs, but now I've got more breathability. My shoes, my socks are being able to air out a little bit better when I'm at camp. They're a lot more comfortable, even than those plastic kind of off-brand plastic Crocs that you had there. And so for me, these really became my go-tos for quite a while. And I really, really liked these. I still really like these. I will wear these a lot whenever I go out on some river trips and other things like that too as well, just because they're nice shoes. All right, next. So these bad boys I've had for a really long time. And I started off, these are actually one of the lightest pair of shoes that I had. And when you talk about packability, like these things really just can fold up and they can go just about anywhere. Whereas now you were talking, when we were talking those tennis shoes, those things become a challenge. It's like, where are you going to put them in your backpack? Are they going to hang off the back of your backpack? Are you going to have room to be able to stuff them in? And they take up a lot of room in your backpack. And even those, the Crocs, the Tevas were not as bad, but those still would take up some room and being able to put them in your packs. Whereas these things, these are the Vibram's FiveFingers shoes. They would really pack down into a really small area to be able to put them in. And talk about awesome for water crossings. Like these are really amazing. Like when I go kayaking and other things and stuff, I really love these shoes. These are my go-to shoes for kayaking because if you need to jump out of the kayak or the boat or any of those kind of things that you're doing out on the river, there's nothing better than to keep you from having rocks poke you in your foot or doing any of those kind of things is having a Vibram sole on the bottom of your foot. And this mesh there on the top really isn't that much, and it really lets the water out really well. I think the only issues that I really had with this is if you ever got sand in them, it would be a pain in the butt because the sand just didn't come out really well if you were doing things on the river. But you could also Velcro them across there to tighten them up and really get them on to where they would stay on really well. And the weight on these is 14 ounces. I think it was like 14.1 ounces when I put it on the scale earlier. And so these would save you even a couple more ounces than, say, the Tevas or the Crocs. And so now you're looking at those three items were the three things that I always had to choose from. Now, the one thing I will tell you too, another negative about these Vibrams is they're not comfortable for camp shoes. Like I love these for river shoes, but they're not a comfortable shoe. One, I have to come out of my socks when I get to camp, really, to get them on because of these things, your toes go into each one of those slots there. And so it's not really convenient to be able to just take off your shoes, keep your socks on, let your socks air out. and be able to stay comfortable, especially if it's a cooler afternoon or something and you want a little bit of something on your feet. Or even if you got bugs or mosquitoes or something and you want something on your feet. You know, these things are just, to me, were not comfortable. And so as much as I love these things for river shoes, and they're amazing for river crossing, they never made my list for being camp shoes. And so for the longest time, my camp shoe go-tos were either the Tevas or those emojis, the off-brand Crocs. And so I would really go between the two of those. And to be honest, I would say 8 out of the 10 times, the Tevas would be the ones that got picked. But over the last couple years, since I've really even dialed in my gear even more, and I've really started thinking about, you know, do I really want to carry, you know, another 16 ounces, another pound to carry camp shoes? And because I'm actually hiking out in trail runners, I mean, they're not really that uncomfortable, right? I mean, it's not like you have to get out of your trail runners, you know, your tennis shoes, you know, whenever you get to camp, because they're pretty decently. But I'll tell you though, when I'm out fast packing and I'm running those trails, just being able to get out of those tennis shoes still feel great. So for me, I still was on the search for trying to find something that could still help me get out. You know, because a lot of times what I found myself doing here lately was I would ditch the camp shoes and I would just wear my socks around camp. So that hopefully it helped give me a little bit of cushion from, you know, if I stepped on a stick or a rock or something, even though it didn't do a lot of really good help for that. But it was still a little bit better than being barefoot when I was at camp. And so I would just kind of do that if I wanted to ditch the weight. But here recently, I just actually got a new pair for Christmas, actually, which leads me to the last option here, which I have a feeling is gonna be my go-to for all future camping trips, and it's gonna make it to where the camp shoes never even become a thought anymore about whether or not I take them or not. And that's Zpacks new camp shoes. They're ultralight camp shoes that they've got on their website there. And so I put that on my Christmas list, and thankfully my wife was an amazing human being and got them for me. I was probably gonna get them for myself if she didn't afterwards, because I'd been eyeballing them for a while. And of course, they even come in one of my favorite colors, which is orange. And so I just love these things. And these things are ridiculously lightweight. The weight on these things is for both of them, is 2.89 ounces. That's ridiculous. Now, I will say, one, I'll caveat here to say I have not used them a whole lot yet. I just recently got them, but I was excited to show them to you guys and excited. I'd been thinking about doing a video. I was gonna do this video talking about camp shoes even without these, but this even made it even more important, I think, to show you guys this. So these things are awesome. They've got this really lightweight, very thin, you know, piece of, I don't even know if it's rubber or what it is there on the bottom, to be able to give you some protection from the sticks and the rocks and other things there. So this is gonna give you more protection than, say, my socks would or other things like that. But it's not gonna give you as much protection as, say, a really nice Vibram sole. But they're super lightweight, and that's what you're getting from that. And then on top of it here, you've got this little lightweight mesh, you know, on here that just kind of sews on. And then just to give you the ability to strap it to your foot, they've got this little elastic band here, which, you know, doesn't look much bigger than some of my hair bands that I use to keep my hair back. But hey, it's a super amazing idea to be able to take something super lightweight like this, and then this is just a way to kind of hold it to your shoe. And then you've got a way here to tighten that up to be able to kind of keep it on your foot for it. So these are awesome. And talk about packability as well. Like, fold that up, stick it in a pocket, and they're gone. They're on there. So I can tell you, I just recently put out one of my ultralight fast packing videos and setups, and it didn't have these in it. It will in the future. These things are now gonna go with me on the trip, and they'll make it in every one of my ultralight and fast packing loadouts that I do going forward, because why not? I mean, this is less than 3 ounces. This is the same amount of weight as my stove, almost. So this is a no-brainer for me. These things will definitely be going. Now, one of the things that I don't know about, and we'll talk about in the future, because I'll be testing these out on all my future trips coming up, especially coming up in the summer of 2026 when I get out, is I really don't know, like I don't know that I would trust these on a winter trip, because one, I'm gonna want my feet to stay a little bit warmer, and two, I don't know how, I mean, even though it does look like there's a little bit of catch here, I don't know how well that would hold on snow or ice. So I probably won't be taking them on my winter trips, but on my summer trips, I will definitely be taking them. But I'm also curious to see how secure am I gonna feel trying to do a creek crossing in these. So like, am I gonna be able to do a creek crossing with these in order to keep my, tennis shoes from being able to get wet? Or am I gonna have to just do like I've been doing here lately, which is a lot of times I'll just hike across the creek in my shoes, because a lot of my trail running shoes are meant to push water out and get that water out pretty quickly. And they dry pretty quickly on the trail to where I've just kind of dealt with wet feet for a little while until I could get to a point, and then I would eventually swap out and put dry socks on once the shoes were dried out for that. So I don't know. That's the one thing I'm really going to be testing. So if any of you have gotten these already and you've gotten out with them and you've done some creek crossings, I would love to know how you felt. Did you feel comfortable on there, or is this gonna, because this is not a lot. I mean, just a little bit that I've been walking around with them here in the yard since I got them, you definitely don't feel like you've got any major security or protection on them. So I don't know how that's gonna be when it comes to being able to have it for a multi-use item like that. So will these, these will definitely become my new camp shoes going forwards, because this is gonna be the next best thing to just being barefoot or in my socks, because there's hardly any weight on them. And really and truthfully, when I'm in camp, I don't really need to be able to do a whole lot. I'm not gonna be hiking the trail in these. I'm not gonna be running up a mountain in them. That's not what I wanted, these for. I just want these for lounging around camp. And so that, I believe, is gonna be 100%, as long as the material holds up and as long as the stitching holds up. I think these are gonna be well worth their money for that. Now, they're pretty pricey, but for what it is, but at the same time, so is most of all of our ultralight stuff that we get into. So I feel like as long as I don't get them out and within 2 or 3 trips they end up ripping or something, then it'll be worth the money, for me to have. So if I can get these things to last at least a couple seasons or better, especially meaning that you're not really going to be utilizing them a whole lot. And so hopefully I don't push them to any extreme or anything like that that will cause them to break or not be a case. But I am so super excited about these. These things have definitely changed the way I think about camp shoes nowadays. It's no longer even a thought about whether or not I will bring these along with me when I go out there. All right. That's my take across all 6 of the different setups that you could potentially have for taking out for camp shoes. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you take camp shoes when you backpack? If so, what do you take? Do you take tennis shoes, Crocs, slides, Tevas, FiveFinger shoes, or do you have the new Zpacks camp shoes? Let me know in the comments below. I actually read every one of my comments, and I love to hear what you guys tell me, because not only are you helping me grow with my own gear, but you're also helping the audience and everybody else grow with the advice. And if you're curious about what my full setups look like and you haven't seen those videos yet, check out both of these videos here, because one of them is gonna be my 2026 Ultralight Fastpacking setup that I'm actually gonna be using here in a couple weeks. And then the other one is my 2026 summer Ultralight, but allowing myself to be some bougie items, which of course does kick me a little bit out of that ultralight world, but it allows for me to have a lot more and a little bit more comfort when it comes to camp. Either way, I hope this was super helpful for you guys, and I hope it helps you pack a little bit lighter, go a little bit further out on the trail, and hopefully, as always, I see you guys out on the trail.